Hello, longboarding mom. Today we are going to make biscuits and gravy. It's one of my favorites, but my restaurant stopped making them, so I have to find them somewhere else. And nobody makes homemade gravy. It's always that stuff out of the can. So this is my recipe here. It's the baking powder Clabber Girl recipe on the bag. It's old-fashioned biscuits. I used to use my biscuit recipe out of my cookbook, but this one's just a little bit better, just a little bit different. And I think I've already made these biscuits once. I think biscuit sandwiches for my son. We did eggs, bacon, and cheese biscuits for breakfast one morning. I'm actually making this for lunch today. I was gonna do dinner last night, but we had homemade pizza and I made it in my cast iron skillets. And I will never, I can't say never, I'll probably make them more in the cast iron skillets than I did on my pizza pans, because it gets a crust all the way around it, golden, and underneath cooked, everything cooked. It was perfect. Even my son and my husband were like, that was the best pizza ever. But anyway, let's make some biscuits and gravy today, homemade. Not sure what measurements I need, so I always pull out everything. I do need 2 cups all-purpose flour. So we're going to put 2 cups into this bowl right here. And this is a brand new bag, so I don't need to sift it or anything. 2 cups of flour. We are going to do 2.5 teaspoons baking soda. I got all shook up so it went everywhere. So 1 teaspoon, and I level it off with the lid. 1, 2.5. And we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt, I believe. Nope, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Oh, that's a little 1/4 teaspoon. We need 1 more of those. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I like my pastry cutter. I like to mix that around really good before I add the shortening to it. And you can add butter, shortening. This recipe calls for shortening. So 1/2 cup of shortening and 3/4 cup of milk. So we're gonna do the shortening, cut that into, I don't need that one, so we'll put that one away. So I got my 1/2 cup here. And I have bought a whole bunch of Fred Meyer shortening, because there was a time you can get shortening at every store, any brand you want. And the last time I went to Winco, all I can get was the Crisco shortening, and that stuff is really expensive. So when I found that Fred Meyer's had some for a decent price, I bought a whole bunch of them. My husband's numbered them all by date and stuff. And if we open it, I don't think this one has a number on it, because this was the first one we opened. Okay, so 1/2 cup, and I kind of spread that around in little chunks. There we go. So I did a video the other day of how much gas prices have gone up, and I never posted that video. I'm sure they've gone up since then. And I was talking to my dad on the phone. He's, oh, it's just summer. I'm like, yeah, it's summer, but gas prices were never over $4 a gallon. Like, if it gets any higher, I'm not going to be able to drive to work. It's a long drive. Everything's getting more expensive. I keep hearing everything's going down, and it was, but now gas prices are going back up again. So I was enjoying those days when gas prices were below $2.50 a gallon. That was just a couple years ago, and we haven't even gotten close to $3. Not even $2.98 a gallon, I don't think. So I have been kind of using all my preps up, and I need to start going shopping again and buying some more stuff and figuring out what I need. So I'm going to be doing that soon. Summer's coming, and all I want to do is play outside, and it's been so windy outside, so I can't even go out and play in the river because it's too cold. My paddleboard, I can't get on that because the wind will just blow me right across the river. Those are no fun in the wind. Kayaking is a little different. You can control it a little better. I've been on a lake that had whitecaps like an ocean one time. It was so much fun. And that was my first time kayaking. My husband took me kayaking. We were just dating, and we went camping, and my first time kayaking and stuff, and it's white caps, and he thought for sure I was not gonna enjoy it and not gonna have any fun. And he looks back, and I'm laughing, going up and down over these hills, and I had a sweatshirt on because it wasn't very warm outside, but it was warm enough to go. It was summer. In Oregon, you wear sweatshirts almost year round because, in the morning it's cold, the afternoon it's beautiful, at night it's cold again. I need some milk, so I'm going to go get the milk and add that to here, and we are going to knead it just a little bit. You don't want to over knead biscuits because you don't want them too tough. And then we'll roll them out, cut them, and put them on the pan and make our sausage gravy. I've got 3/4 of a cup of milk in there. You can also use, if you don't have milk on hand, if you've got powdered milk, you can use powdered milk. You can use evaporated milk and add a little bit of water to that. You're going to stir it around until it's sticky and combined there. I'm going to dump it out here on my little cutting board. I don't pull out my pastry mat when I'm just doing a little quick biscuits, unless I'm making a whole bunch. But anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of flour on here, a little bit of flour on my hands, a little bit more flour because the dough is still wet. And we are going to dump this out onto this little mat. We're going to knead it for about 30 seconds, just until it is a little springy and soft. You don't want to over knead it, like I said. Wash those here in a second. Okay, so need a little bit more flour on my hands. Okay, let's flour this up, throw flour everywhere. This is where I'm messy. I'm gonna flip that over, throw some more flour on it. We're gonna roll it out to 3/4 of an inch. And if you don't have a biscuit cutter, you can use a nice little cup you have and just dip it in some flour. slides all over my counter, so it's not easy to roll. You don't want to roll it too thin, and there we go. Want it kind of even so that I can make as many as I can out of that. Okay, so that's not going to fit in there and give me any flour, so I'm going to just dump a little bit on there and kind of roll it around in the flour. And then we're going to go straight up and down. You don't want to twist it. You don't want to do that with that because it seals the biscuit and then your biscuits won't rise. So straight up and down. I'm just going to do it again. And that's why you kind of put some flour on it because it sticks. Okay, I can get one more biscuit right here. Look at that. Okay. We're going to put these biscuits on my pan I have over here. I'm preheating the oven to 475. And it says to put the biscuits right next to each other. See, it's stuck. And we are going to take this dough and we're going to kind of knead it together one more time. And roll out a couple more. Knead it together one more time. Roll it out. We're going to cut a couple more biscuits out of this one, and then whatever's left over, I'm just going to kind of squish it together and put on my pan. So I think, let's roll it out just a little bit more. Maybe I can get 3 biscuits. Maybe. Okay. There's I don't know. 1 biscuit straight up and down. 2 biscuits straight up and down. And almost didn't get 3. Okay, and then I just kind of push these together and make when you make like drop biscuits and you just kind of throw them, like squish them together and drop them on the pan. That's kind of what these ones are going to be. Little drop biscuits. Okay. That is my pan of biscuits. I have 12. I am going to melt some butter, put the butter on top. As soon as the oven beeps and it says it's preheated, we are going to put that in there for, I believe it's 10 minutes, 11 to 15 minutes. Okay, this sausage isn't the sausage I normally buy. I thought I would go a little bit cheaper, and actually I do like the store brand sausage. This is not the store brand sausage. This was like Farmland or something, and I bought 2 of them, and I am not happy with what it looks like. It looks like a lot of fat. So we will see how it fries up. I didn't put the whole package in there because that's That's just too much fat for me. I'm hoping we get some meat out of that. The biscuits are in the oven. And we will get this fried up. I've got a 1/4 cup of flour, some pepper, and a little tiny bit of salt because pork has a lot of salt. We don't need to add any more salt to that. And we're going to add some milk to that to make our gravy as soon as it's all fried up. I'm browning up my meat just a little bit more.
You mean blonding?
Blonding up, yeah. I'm really worried. This is like really fatty sausage.
I recommend Jiffy Beans.
And I will not be buying this one again. I will add just a little bit of butter to it to add the flour in. What?
It's worth taking that off. Okay, dude's got a truck crash. Now up this barbecue fire. What? Right after this. Right here. Right here. Watch. Get it in the front end. Emergency flashers on. Get it. Look, a foot. Now look, it gets better. Wait till he goes around the front. He's under the hood. Fucking close down. Like that. That all happens from a parking lot tender.
Okay.
You guys takes off running.
Okay, I'm going to slowly add the milk in. Dump it all. Might need a little bit more milk, depending on how much flour you added to your sausage. But once it's all thickened up, you can make your biscuits and gravy. It's gonna need more milk. Let me turn that heat down. That's really thick. Okay.
Yes. That's a pretty girl. Yes. Daddy put the blue stuff on it. She didn't like it. I'm sorry. She's okay. You got no bugs, huh? Got no more bugs, huh? She's laying in the window, looking out the window. No bugs, Mama. Right, baby?
Right.
That's cute. She got no bugs.
Spinning fucking tires, running the engine over it. Thing's probably fucked at this point.
I'm fucking up all day today. Today's the perfect day to fuck up. I'm fucking up all today.
Okay, I'm going to take this off the stove and I'm going to put my biscuits and gravy together and eat my lunch probably out on the porch. It's gorgeous out there. It's not too hot yet. It's not going to be a hot, hot day, but it's perfect for some biscuits and gravy on the front porch. Okay, these are my done biscuits. I'm going to take them apart and put one good one, and then I'm going to grab a couple pieces of this other one. Look at that. Yum. Just throw that in there. I don't want any butter because we have enough butter and grease in here. But butter on those biscuits with some honey. Yum. And look at that gravy. That's nice and thick. Yum. pour some on top. Okay. Look at my biscuits and gravy. Yum. Get some of that biscuit. Mmm. Mmm. I'm going to try just the gravy by itself because I want to see what that sausage actually tastes like. Mm. Yeah. It's fatty sausage. I don't recommend that kind. I'll show you what it is. It's this brand. And this is my other one I have in the freezer. And I don't know. I might make it cat food. This is my table I stole from my boss because we were just going to throw it away anyway. So we took it home and painted it. And it's a little rusty on the edges still, so I'm probably going to put a rope around it to protect our hands and so nobody cuts themselves. But that's not what I want to talk about. That the biscuits and gravy were good. The biscuits were really good. The gravy was good. The sausage, not so good. It reminded me of a story of when we took the kids camping in 2009, I want to say. And we went up to Mount Hood and we were having a great time. And we went over to the water park and had a good afternoon swimming and going down the water slides and stuff. And we were going to have burritos for dinner. We had prepared everything to bring with us for burritos and make on our Coleman stove. And we had our old stove, really old Coleman stove, is 19 something. I'll have to ask my husband what it was, but we brought all of the lanterns and we called it old school camping, and it was so much fun. But I forgot the hamburger for our burritos, and so we decided to go into town, and the closest town was the reservation. And we went to the grocery store and I found the hamburger, what looked like hamburger, kind of looked like that sausage. With it was white and a little pink spots. And we were like, is there anything else? No, there wasn't. The reservation, I don't know where they get their meat from or whatever. So we were limited on what we could purchase. So we went back to our campsite. And we're cooking and cooking, and it was just really greasy and fatty and gross. And we dumped off the grease like 4 times. And after it was finally cooked, it was little itty bitty, like little BBs. And so I asked my son today, I was like, remember those burritos we kept calling Resritos? And he's like, what? And res, for reservation burritos. We just combine the words. Resritos. So we always joke about Resritos. And he was little. He was probably like 5, maybe 4 when that happened. And he has no clue. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I fed him the biscuits and gravy and let him eat it. And I told him that story. And like I said, it was good. But it was little fatty little chunks of meat. And so, yeah, no, my husband won't let me feed it to the cat either. So we'll probably just, unfortunately, throw that meat away. So, lesson learned, buy what you know. One thing. If you do buy something, to try it, buy one. And I always like to buy more because if I go back, it's gone usually. So, that's the story of Resritos. And now it's going to be forever the biscuits and gravy too. And I don't know how to add that together.